Did you hear? Hello, dear friends. We are back. I'm Esther and
I'm Samuel.
Yeah, so we are usually back every Saturday at 7 a.m. UK time to just share with you, what we have on our hearts. Good morning, June. Wow.
Hope you are doing very well.
Yeah. Brother Jude, how are you? Bakamugera, welcome. Thanks for joining us. The topic for this month is interesting, and I'll encourage you to help us share with your friends. We are going to be exploring redefining love, especially for us Africans, the way we are brought up. We know love to be a very different thing. Okay, so we are going to look at different aspects of love, which will help us to understand who we are and how we are made to function. Most of the inspiration that we have and we're going to share with you, we are actually learning from Dr. Sunday Adelaja, and we shall be inviting you to join us every day on his live broadcast on his page, Dr. Sunday Adelaja, every 7 p.m. UK time, and we'll give you the information at the end of the broadcast. But join us and let's learn together. But here is just a review of what we've learned and how we can, share and relate it to Africa and ourselves. Sammy, greet our people.
Hello, guys. We are so happy to be with you today.
Yeah.
She was speaking about DSA, Dr. Sunday Adelaja. I just quickly want to say that he is a vessel and a man that is worth listening to. Whether you are a Christian, whether you are not a Christian, he talks about everyday issues, everyday life issues that changes lives, changes nations, and I think everybody should try to listen to him and benefit from him.
Okay. Brother Biekwa Sotamale, Odiotie Yosebo, Wasuzotie Yosebo, Mwebale twegatako wano ku live broadcast. I'm trying to speak Luganda. After so long, he disappears.
Yeah, Apostle.
Apostle Julius.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, please. And as we share, we know you are all knowledgeable. Please share your comments, write your questions, and let's brainstorm. Let us learn together. I know it's not only us that know anything. You guys know more than us. So let us learn from each other. This is just a platform to share and to grow together. Okay? Thank you so much. Okay, so how can we start this? It's a big topic, Sam.
Yeah.
So, understanding who we are as human beings. Who are we? Where do we come from? Okay, so according to the Bible, okay, in Genesis 1:26, when God created the earth and all the animals and all the vegetation, the sky, the waters, everything, he made that environment for man. He's organized. He first creates an environment where a man will thrive before he brings him in. He doesn't create man first before the earth. So he's a God of really excellence in his way. We learn a lot of order from God.
Yeah.
Then he says, let us make man, human beings, in our own image and likeness. Image meaning character. When you look at the mirror each morning, the way you talk, the way you respond to situations, see yourself as an image of God. You resemble God. Therefore, you're supposed to resemble him in the way you talk, in the way in your character, and all that. So those two words are important: image and likeness. Likeness talks more of functionality. The way we function, we should be like God. God is creative. we should be creators. God is a God of order. In our communities, we should enable to see that there is order around us. That is an aspect of functionality. So that's a wide topic, but I'll just do a brief introduction, that we are made in the image and likeness of God. We are all a source of God. Look at people, even those who don't believe in God, we all have a commonality. You cannot see someone dying and you just walk away. An atheist, a Muslim, a Christian, they all rush to help. Why? Love. So you see, we all have a common denominator. Love. That means we come from one source, and that is love.
That's right.
So if a fish comes from water, when it's taken out of the water, it dies.
Sure.
The same principle applies to us. When we don't walk in love, we begin to die. Why? Because we are made to function in love.
That's right.
Sammy, say something. Why do we think that our God is a God of love? And why do you think we are made from love?
I think that we usually don't get it right, or we don't understand who we are. That's why we either deny ourselves or deny God. And we don't even have an understanding of what love is all about. So that's why most of the time many people go do some wrong things, or they trespass against others and things like that. So I think that the moment that we realize that we are from God and God is love, we begin to find out what love, true love, real love is all about. And then we begin to replicate it. Yeah.
So why do you think, what shows us that God is a God of love?
There are several things actually. Things that are practical to us, things that we see, that we feel, that we touch, we relate with. Our environment, nature, the fact that we see birds, we don't know where the air is coming from.
The oxygen.
We are breathing in oxygen, and that is to tell us that once these resources stop, life also stops. So what can make it what is sustaining it actually? It's God, and it's because He loves. That's why everything is functioning. That's why the system of the world is functioning. God is love.
Yeah. So even that scripture that says that He sends rain both through the good and the bad, oxygen, whether you're a criminal or not, whether you know Him or not, you breathe oxygen.
That's right.
You know, that is the love of God. But let me bring it to the context of us Africans. If you look in Africa, I want the people on the platform to really answer this question. Look in your communities, look in the way you are brought up. Do we really know how to love? Are we portraying our source the way couples relate to each other in Africa? The way children are raised, and they are not allowed to question. They are not allowed, keep quiet. Couples walking on the road, one is on the left, one is on the right. When we were watching DSA some time back, he showed us a video of a situation in Africa where by a man, they're from the garden, the man and his family, his wife and children. And the wife was heavily pregnant. The children were holding on to her. She was ahead of the man. She was carrying firewood on her head, plus bananas, heavily pregnant, while the man is stroking behind. Relax, nothing, no load. You see the situation of Africa. And, he's not touched. He doesn't feel that, oh, my wife is heavily pregnant. She doesn't need to work. I should be the one to carry those heavy things. Because that comes out of love. Why? Because love, when we have love, we respect others, we honor others. But you see the situation in Africa whereby we are raised, you don't see your parents hug. In fact, as children, you can be an adult and you've never experienced a hug from your father.
That's right.
Sammy, Is your is your experience in Nigeria like that?
It's I think it's in all African countries because the Africa as a continent is like a patriarchal continent. So what that means is that they give more respect to the men. Okay, so the men feel that they are lords, and then for that reason, every other thing has to be subjected to them. All right, so they don't want to come to the level of other people, whether it is their wife, whether it is their children. So that kind of mentality is a wrong mentality, which is affecting the genuine love that God has put inside of us. Just like what DSC was saying, that we having love means that we are reducing our prestige, our honor for other people. All right, and that is how it should be. So if we are a king, it doesn't mean that you should not come to the level of the commoners. If you're a president, it doesn't mean that you should not come to the level of the people.
Yeah, and if you're a parent, you should always come to the level of your children.
That's right.
So I have some notes here. Okay, the way we are raised in Africa is that we are raised to actually just take care of ourselves. You're running after your business, it's your career, it's all about you. And of course your family members, that's all. But to find a stranger on the road to care for them, I think it's like that's not a natural thing. It's not a natural thing. It doesn't come naturally to us. Okay. But we discovered through the teachings of DSA that caring for family members is just an action of duty. It's not love. Why? Because they are the people closest to you. That's your duty as a family member to look after your people. But real love is tested when you reach out to strangers and you show them the exact love that you show to your family members, to strangers, to people who cannot even thank you back. We see an example of someone who already has their own children, but they are also adopting sickly children who are about to die, who have a disability or something, and they can't even talk to say thank you for looking after me, thank you for adopting me, but they are showing them love. That is the real definition of love. Okay? Yeah. So love is the opposite of selfishness, of think about ourselves, think about other people. That is where we should start from. Okay? Love should not always think about ourselves, but think about other people. So love always reduces us. Why? Because we take from what we already have to share with other people. That's also an aspect of love. So anything you do that doesn't reduce you, it may not be an act of love. Okay. Check yourself. When you're giving, when you're reaching out, are you reducing yourself? That should be like a test to check whether we are really walking in love. We're not seeing any comments. I don't know whether we've missed any comments that someone has written.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Please, we want to encourage you to write, to comment, to participate in what we are doing. We'd have loved to maybe we'll get to a point whereby we'll be able to take calls. Maybe not today actually, but much more later.
Okay.
All right. But for now, please, we'd like you to write your comments in the comment section. God bless you.
So we are still talking about love and how we are meant to function. So we've seen that love reduces us, reduces self. It's not selfish. So love is also about sacrificial giving. Love involves giving. Okay? So there's no love without giving. That's why when God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, and whoever believes in him will not perish. There's always that exchange, you're giving. That is love. Okay? And then for the singles out there, sometimes a single sister may have like three brothers approaching. Oh, can I marry you? I love you, I love you. So if someone's telling you, I love you, how do you choose the right one, Samuel?
Well, that question, if it's from the female's perspective, I can't answer. All right? But from the male usually we human beings are always looking for what will benefit us.
Yeah.
All right, and that's still about we being selfish.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, but from DSA's teaching, we learned that if somebody wants to, if you want to really see that someone really loves you, then look at how sacrificial the person is to you, how the person sacrifices his or her time,
Yeah.
not for purpose of getting, because somebody can pay attention to you and give you his or her time for many time for a long time, but if the person gives you his her time, can sacrifice his life or her life for you, can give you almost everything that he has, and that is a sign. That's a sign that a person really loves you.
And also check out the attitude of service towards you. Are they willing to go all the way to serve you? Okay, and that is a sign that actually that person is the right person. Okay,
That's right.
it's not someone who is after, oh, I'll look great when I'm working with her, they will know I have a beautiful wife. She comes from a well-to-do family, so I'll be prestigious. Nah, are they willing to serve you? When you are ill, when you're weak, do you check their service? That should be a test. Okay, another aspect of love before Samuel comes in is true love puts the interest of others above self. You put your interest aside and love others. You know, growing up in Africa, you know, it's mainly actually the mothers that try to show love, but the men are sort of distant. You know, their interest is just pursue goals, get money, but it's always good to step back and say, okay, should I find out what my children feel? How do they feel? How was their day? Let me find out about their interests. Let me engage with them. So in Africa, we really need to redefine the way we've been taught love and start to function the right way into the likeness of God. So Samuel, there are other aspects of love, you know, that we need to discuss. So what do you think, what are those other aspects? What do you think we can share with our viewers? What love really means, how we can learn love from different aspects in our lives?
One major area which I think we should spend time talking about today. The DSA has mentioned it, and I want to do some further, talks or discussion based on it. Is at times there are situations when we lose things, when we lose people, when we think we lose time. All right, when we lose anything,
or when we have we've been born with a disadvantage, we are in a disadvantaged position. Maybe someone is born lame, blind.
Now in those kind of situations, especially in Africa, it's either the devil involved,
Finding and losing.
Yeah, or maybe they say maybe the parents have sold the child or the person to the gods, or they have used the person for rituals, to make money or something fetish, something superstitious, something myopic. All right. Thank God for knowledge. Thank God for exposure.
Yeah.
Many of these things, even we had this kind of mentality previously, but thanks for understanding, through our exposure and through teachings that we are getting that are coming from very good people.
Yeah.
Especially DSA. This is changing our thought and changing our perspective. I would love us in Africa, to begin to redefine our thinking, redefine what we label, so that we will progress. The reason why we are different, why the Western world is different from us, is basically because they see things that the way they are. They don't talk about things as if the devil is involved. In fact, they don't even see the devil in anything.
Exactly. So, and I see that they're involved in research to explain occurrences. You know, if someone is born with a disability, something went wrong when the baby is forming. It's not about witchcraft or what. They don't have the superstitious mentality at all. That's why they're developing. There's always involved in researching, finding answers and solutions. And that reminds me, you know, in Africa, when babies are born, for example, with a disability like Down syndrome, they hide that child. You rarely see the child. There can be parties and weddings in the family. The child is never involved. Why? They feel ashamed. Why? That's a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Sam will explain more.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for anyone to express love or to show love. When you see someone is weak, the person who is stronger should lift him or her up. All right. And even if you are the person that you feel weak, all right, you should then realize that you're not perfect, as in outwardly.
We've missed a point. We've missed a comment, isn't it? June has said something.
Yeah.
Okay, June is saying that I believe that true love seeks to develop the other party to becoming a better person.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Thank you, June.
Thanks, June. Is there any other comment there?
No.
Okay, great. So just as I was saying, so you see, it's important that when we see that we have a weakness, we don't undermine. We don't put ourselves down. We don't say that well, because I am blind, because I am deaf, because my one of my hands or my legs has been chopped off, or I was born that way, then I go begging. It is reducing the image of God inside of us.
Yeah.
It is reducing the whole picture of who God is. You know, that is inside of us. Everybody, whoever you are, whatever race, culture, language, religion, you are an image of God.
Yeah.
So whatever it is that is like seen as a loss, that is seen as, you know, it seems as if it's not perfect. It is just a different way to look at things differently and approach different matters. If something happens to someone, and the person and the thing is seen as being negative, I think it's a philosopher that said, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. I'll repeat it myself again. Nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So when we lose something, it is the way we think that will determine what we understand from that scenario. So actually, when we lose things, it's one of the reasons why we lose things is for God to teach us love.
I think let's now give them examples of things and situations and how we learn love from those situations.
Oh, okay.
I'll begin with myself.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of November last year, I lost my dad. Okay. So sometimes you may not know, but how you can really depend on people. You know, I have my dad, you know, until they leave, that you actually, it dawns on you that, did you really trust God as your daddy? So that has pushed me more to go towards God. It's viewing God as my daddy, you know. So every situation, there's always a positive out of it. God wants us to learn love. So in that situation, I'm learning how to love God more, how to depend and trust God more instead of trusting a human being. Okay. So another example is losing a job. Many times we scream, oh God, I will go to prayer, we bind, I've lost my job. No, stop a moment. Could it be that God wants you to have time with Him so that you love Him? Because we're talking about love, and it's loving, how we are made to function is loving God and people. So maybe you've been so busy with that job, it's taking up a lot of your time, and you've left out on your relationship with God. And it could be that God wants to expose you to another experience. God wants to expose you, to take you to another environment where you blossom.
Can I quickly come in?
Yes.
You know, when I was in Georgia, I lost my job. The very first good job that I got. I've been looking for jobs for a long time. I couldn't find a job. Now, the very first good job that I thought was very good, that many other kind of people didn't have, I lost it after 2 months because of a situation. Now, I was so frustrated about the whole situation, but later God used it to teach me that He had better places that were better than that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What happened was that where nobody ever thought, an African can work. That was where I was working, and I was the only person, only black person, only Nigerian person, only a black person that was working there at that time. Until I left, there was no other African person that was working there. So that simply means that when we lose something, like the Bible says, that God takes away the first to establish the second. All right? So we should open our hearts to God and to people. When we lose things, see it as an experience. An experience that has come to teach you something, or to open your mind or heart to love them more.
To learn love, actually.
Yeah.
And also other losses could be maybe a couple, they're trying hard to have a child, and they're experiencing delays. And they're getting frustrated and worked out over that. The reason why we're all existing here is actually to please God. It's not about having children. That could be part of it, yes, but it's not for everyone, I think. I believe that in that situation, what can deliver someone is to look at that situation and say, what is this situation, this disadvantage, this loss, what is it teaching me? Is it teaching me love? It could be that God wants you to open your eyes. Look at the disadvantaged children around you and adopt them. Then be a mother and a father to those children. So let us not be so fixed, the way it's my own children, it's my own gene that I want. God is a God of, His ways are not our ways. But He has created us to think like Him. That likeness? Let us learn to think like Him. Yeah.
Now, talking about, still on the same topic of losses.
Yes.
God uses whatever it is that we lose to either call our attention to something, or to teach us love. Now, apart from other examples that you've given, let's talk about when you are dating someone.
Okay.
And you are hoping that marriage will come out of it, but somehow it doesn't work out. All right? So if that happens to you, that is an indication that there is someone better for you that is going to come. All right? June is saying here, there are things God will remove out of our lives or bring into our lives so as to get our attention.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. DSA was giving us an example of when he was trying to get married. That he was thinking he was praying to God for a wife, and he was seeing a tall, beautiful white lady, and he was really, really, really madly in love, in his heart towards the lady. Okay, but God was not allowing it to happen. Okay, until God brought his wife to him. All right, and today he is thankful that he obeyed God and he took what God has given to him. So what am I saying? That if someone lives your life, I don't pray that this happens to couples, but if a spouse leaves you,
a situation of divorce,
like divorce, or you're frustrated or whatever it is, we don't pray for such kind of things, and we are praying for people to come together and be one. But if such kind of cases happen, I want to encourage us to hold on to God, because He is love. All right, and we should not feel resentful.
yeah,
All right, we should not be unforgiving. All right, we should not take it out on anybody, or even the children, because usually what happens is when there's a divorce or when there's a separation, the parents take it out on their children, take it out on on other people, on their at work and things like that. But nevertheless, that should be an opportunity to show more love.
yeah,
All right, because we as human beings should not be dependent on each other, but we should be dependent on God, because God is love.
yeah.
God is love. You'd like to add something to this?
I'm just thinking of examples in Africa, the losses that we experience, and we think God has left us, So even the situation of the level of development of Africa, you look at it and say, everyone wants to escape and go and live in the first world,
Yeah.
Yeah, but that situation of poverty, of underdevelopment, God is also paying attention, calling our attention to something, to learn love, to act, to act from our, to wake up from our complacency, to wake up from our, comfort zone and do something.
Yeah.
Act in His likeness, do research, see how these development countries have come about, read books about civilized nation, where most of the books like Pastor Sandy has written are the books that really Africa needs. You look at those situations. How can we develop our nation? These children on the streets, what can we do? Part of our income, let's invest in orphanages. Let's invest in these children. Let's find a place for them. It's like God is calling our attention to be a loving continent. See an example of people on the streets. You see beggars. Beggars. Like in Uganda, you walk when there's traffic and cars are stuck. Children come on the door, on the vehicle, knocking on the windows. Please give us money, But sometimes we are indifferent.
You know something, love?
Because
sorry to cut you in.
Yeah.
I have come across several people who are really looking for a spouse, right? And they are saying, nobody loves me, nobody cares for me, nobody is thinking about me, nobody is reaching out to me. All right, when you are at that point in your life, it simply means that you have too much of love inside of you that you have not thought of spilling it out.
Yeah.
So you should begin to reach out. If people are not reaching out to you, it's simply that you have so much of love inside of you, and they are thinking that you are okay.
Yes.
So you need to reach out to other people and show them love. And please don't reach out to people that you can gain something from. That's George Watson. Oh,
yeah.
He says, "Hello Esther, I am a born again, and I have totally lost my first love in my wife because she's not been transparent to me at any time. Anytime. I have tried my best to research on why this is happening to her, but I have failed. We are sorry about that."
Oh, George. Yeah, that's a test. That's a test. There are things we can't explain. There are things life is full of challenges. There are things that happen to us we can't explain. But sometimes that is also a time for you. God is calling for your attention. Take time out. Every time I have an issue, it's like I need to hear from God. I need direction. Take time out. Could be 2 days or 3 days. Be alone with God and pour your heart out to Him. Have a conversation. Ask Him for the next steps. He may guide you to seek counsel from professionals, counselors, marriage counselors. He may open your eyes to a certain issue that you overlooked. Yeah, there's so many answers we can get in the presence of God. So I would rather go to God and ask for help and guidance. So we pray to you, we pray for you, George, that God may shine His wisdom and guidance to you.
Amen.
And bring healing in your family.
Amen.
You know, I believe that God always wants us to dwell in love and in unity. So if there's an issue, may God expose that issue and give you wisdom to deal with it.
Amen.
So we also ask that God will touch your wife and soften her heart and change her.
Amen.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
June is also saying, in fact, challenges are an opportunity to show love. For example, seeing orphans, homeless, teenage parents, prisoners, all these are platforms for us to share God's love. Exactly. Now this month, everyone is going, oh, Valentine's, oh, my Valentine, my oh, God. People have no clue of what love is. Okay. Why don't you, if you want to really show love on Valentine's, pick a homeless person. Go to Marks and Spencer, buy them clothes, buy them a meal, and show them, I'm just showing you the love of God. That will be another level of love.
Usually, you see,
Yeah.
Valentine actually is a season where people have really lost it. Okay, many people are looking towards the opposite sex, and it's all about selfishness, really. Okay, let's think differently.
George is saying that he's in his time of prayer and fasting. Yes, George. So we pray that God will guide you. That's perfect. That's the way to go. So yeah, it would be nice for us to, if you send us any message or any questions, if you want someone to guide you, we can refer some counselors to you. So inbox us on the messenger on Messenger, and we want to follow up the case and see how you are and continue standing with you. Yeah. So God bless you.
Okay.
Okay, so going back to our topic, we are talking about the topic that DSA was teaching us, when loss teaches us love. When loss teaches us love. So we are saying that in situations in Africa, instead of being negative in negative situations, in bereavement, maybe you've lost someone, you've lost a job, maybe you have a child who is disabled, let us not rush to be negative and bitter. Let us look for that, see deeper, tap into the mind of God. Let us be in the likeness of God and use those opportunities to learn love. Real love is tested when you are loving and caring for someone who can't even pay you back, who can't say thank you. That's the test of love. So as we brothers and sisters, especially those from Africa, let us learn what real love is, and let us learn to function the way we are made. We looked at the beginning of this broadcast that we are made to love. Our source is love. Just like a tree produces seed, a mango tree produces a seed of mangoes, mango seeds. Those seeds have the potential to become the exact tree that they came from.
Yeah.
We have the potential to be like God. And if God is love, we should be a people of love.
That's right.
Okay, so Africa, let's arise and be a continent of love. What are your last words, Sammy?
I think that first, to allow us to understand what love is, let's remove self out of the picture.
Yes.
If we remove self out of the picture, it becomes so easy.
Yeah.
It becomes easy for us to love, easy for us to reach out, easy for us to let people know, know that, yes, this is who we really are.
Okay.
Culture should not limit us. Tradition, religion should not limit us.
Okay.
The main thing is for us to remove self. When we remove self, then it will be easy for us to show love to others.
Okay.
And that's what Africa needs at this very moment.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So George wants our email, we'll send you an email at the end of this broadcast, so you'll get it. Yeah, so dear friends, I hope you've been able to get some small insight about love. This whole month we're going to talk about love. So whatever we've left out, next week I'm going to speak with a dear friend of mine, Chioma. And then the following week I'll call June back. Okay, it's all the theme of love, but in different aspects. And we shall be reviewing the teachings we're learning from DSA. So please, we also invite you to join us and learn together about understanding and knowing God through love, through the teachings of Dr. Sunday Adelaja. We will put a link of his page at the end of this broadcast. So have a lovely weekend and stay a loving people. God bless you.
Action point?
Action point. Yes, Sammy.
Yeah, so the action point is, this week, please show love to someone that cannot say thank you to. Yeah, so that's our action point. Show love to someone that cannot say thank you to you, or someone that cannot repay you.
All right. Okay. What is our action ourselves? Because sometimes people want to hear what are we also doing as an action, so that we give them an example. What are we planning to do?
So actually, we have homeless people around us, and we are planning with different people to reach out to them. So pray along with us that as we are making these plans, that their souls will be changed, their lives will be changed.
They will experience love.
They will experience love, and they will be out of the streets. So that is our plan.
Yes.
So please, wherever you are, this season is a season of love.
June is saying, to understand love, let us focus on what can I offer them. What can I offer them than what can I gain.
That's right. Thanks, June.
Thanks, June. So thank you, dear friends, and this is it. So see you next Saturday. Bye.
Bye.